This is the face of disdain.
which one of us watched Double or Nothing and which one didn't? Sucker.
The happier of the two of us clearly picked nothing.
I twittered
feel
it.
like I got fucking double fisted. But anyway,
I twittered it.
I'm K Fresh. Oh, I almost did it. I almost did it again. I almost fucked this whole thing up. I'm K Fresh Kevin Fulton. That's my man Ricky Reyes. And this is our Double or Nothing coverage. And Ricky, I would like to this is our second podcast this week. Our first podcast, our night of coverage drops. Our night of coverage. Our Night of Champions coverage drops in 30 minutes at 8 p.m. on Monday night. We're going to be, I'd like to drop this one out a window. But goddamn, we're going to be talking AEW's Double or Nothing. And the crazy thing is,
God help us.
There was potential in certain spots for this. Let me turn my ringer off here. For this show, and it just did not deliver. It was poor. It was a poor show. So, AEW, first of all, apparently they had the Hardys on the pre-show. Right.
Really?
Yeah, like Matthew and Jeffrey Hardy, the most over tag team of the last 25 years.
They couldn't find nothing for them to do on the main card, huh?
Right. And they
Booker
put them
of the
on
year.
The pre-show, and apparently that was for the best, because apparently
right.
I don't want to be the guy to say it, but fuck it, I will. Apparently sober Jeff is the drizzling shits.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I saw you didn't see any of the clips on Twitter.
Not of him, no.
Dude,
He
went for the
looking.
whisper in the rain or whatever the fuck he calls it.
Right.
And basically just fell off the top rope onto his head.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You gotta know how to take that, like step into it the right way too, to get him over. Yeah.
Yeah, well, apparently Ethan Page didn't have to worry about taking it last night because Jeff clearly wasn't delivering.
Oh,
but
geez.
the main show started with the Blackjack Battle Royal.
Blackjack Battle Royal. Okay.
Right. The 21 dudes, everybody vying for Orange Cassidy's AEW International Championship.
Is this the one where they usually have like a mystery guy every year?
Yes.
Okay.
But the mystery this year was who booked this shit. Because it was like 20 job guys and Jay White, right? So, yes.
What?
Jay White is already lost in the shuffle, okay? So, whatever your hopes for your buddy Jay White were in AEW, he's doing jobs to Ricky Starks in a battle royal in the opening match of fucking Double or Nothing.
This is like pinning or submissions to get him out?
No, this is straight. Well, from what I gathered, it was an over-the-top rope battle royal. Everybody in there at the same time.
Uh-huh.
But this shit started with guys on the floor fighting. So it's already like, why, right? And it's just like sloppy fucking fighting. Guys all over the place. You don't know who's been eliminated, who's actually in. You don't even know if there are people who haven't entered. Swerve Strickland didn't get in the ring until like 10 minutes into this battle royal. Like, motherfucker never took his jacket off.
Really?
Just Terrible. A couple of the guys out there, like they did this spot with Trent Beretta where he's Orange Cassidy's homeboy, right?
Okay.
But he's in this battle royal fighting for Orange Cassidy's title. And him and Orange happen to both be on the apron. And then you know who Big Bill is?
Yeah, from Enzo's
he's
buddy,
7
right?
feet tall and you can't teach that.
Yeah, that guy.
Right. So he's gearing up to boot Orange Cassidy, and Trent Beretta pushes Orange Cassidy out of the way and takes the boot and gets fucking eliminated.
Wait. So Orange Cassidy is in this?
Yes. He's defending his title in this battle royal.
So you just cleared out, he just beat your entire locker room then, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
He beat everyone. Literally. He beat everybody. Right. All right. So Trent Beretta takes the bullet for him, which makes no sense because, like, don't you want to win this guy's belt? That's why you're out there. And, God, Brian Cage is so fucking phony. Everything he does is phony.
Is bad.
He's full of shit.
Right.
He's got a ridiculous haircut. It was, the commentators were they were ringside for like the first time I can remember.
Okay, yeah. I saw that was a thing. Like they pointed that out for some reason because they're usually up on a stage, right? Like in the back by the entrance.
Yeah, they're usually in the WCW.
I wonder what was that maybe from now on or
I don't know, but Taz and Excalibur and Jim Ross bitched about it all night long.
Really?
Fucking guys bumping into the table. Taz is like, "Oh, my fucking ankles." Yeah, dude, this thing was bad. Ricky Starks eliminated Juice and Jay right after each other. So thanks for coming, guys.
Right.
That guy Big Bill works down. You know what I mean by that?
Really?
He works like he sells and stooges around for all the small guys. He works like a small guy until it's convenient for him to be a big man.
To be a big man.
And which is God. And just listening to Taz and JR do commentary, I noted like 10 minutes into this thing just shows you how bad Excalibur is.
Yeah.
I'm
sure. Yeah, he's awful. Yeah.
It was awful. And then the finish is Swerve and Orange Cassidy. They're out on the apron. They're killing each other on the apron. And then Swerve is holding on. And Orange Cassidy is like setting up to do something big. And then he just like kicks him in the hand, like just terrible. Just terrible. I'm so over Orange Cassidy. I'm happy he won this because my biggest fear was he was going to lose this title and end up challenging MJF for the World Heavyweight Championship because you know Tony Khan would put him over. So I hope he holds this title forever.
That's the rumor that's been that I've read a couple of times. Now you like I'm not a fan of 3 or 4 ways or anything else, but couldn't they have just done like a 3-way, maybe Swerve, Orange, and Jay, for the belt? It gave them 10 minutes. And with 3 guys like that, they could spread it out perfectly to where it doesn't look too cluttered. And just let everyone
the only thing that comes out of that, Dad, is that somebody, but then one of those guys is going to win, and then have to lose to Orange Cassidy. You know what I mean? If they did like a contendership, the penalty in all of this is losing to Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
So it was just, and
then, this is a signature match for this event, though. That's why, right? Like,
they always do.
That's what. Okay.
One of these deals for Double or Nothing, and then they do. Sometimes they do it where they come out in like the suits of, I don't know why I'm shuffling cards with my hands. They come out like 4 kings, 4 diamonds or whatever the fuck.
Okay.
But and then next to go from, I'm gonna speed through this because I'm so annoyed I watched this entire show, and I'm even angrier that I got to talk about it. Next was the Chris Jericho and Adam Cole unsanctioned, anything goes, right? Unsanctioned match. So they
Because
did a
they've been
contract signing on Dynamite.
because they've been staring at each other from over each other's shoulders for a couple weeks. So that means that they really have to go after it with no rules.
So they do this contract signing to be like AEW can't be held liable, right?
Oh my.
So that was on Wednesday or whatever the fuck. So this thing starts out within a minute. Sabu is coming off the top rope and putting somebody through a table.
He was there again?
Yeah, he was there again. They announce him. My stream has a little fuck up because my Wi-Fi was a little spotty. And next thing I know, it's just Sabu falling off the top rope through a table and a human being. I didn't even see which one of Jericho's job guys it was.
Oh.
But it looks like it still hurts when Sabu puts you through a table.
Yeah.
So, little side note. Do you remember like when Sabu came into VPW to work with Kai?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm riding around with Kai and we're trying to find a table. And we go to Home Depot, there's no wooden tables. We go to like all these places, no wooden tables. And Kai's like, "What are we gonna do? We don't have a table." And I was like, "Yeah, that's great." And he was like, "No, like we need the table." And I was like, "If you don't have the table, you don't go through the table.
Right.
This is fantastic." Like, and then they went and I don't know, Sabu's a dick. But anyway, the crowd gave not one shit, which made me feel really bad for Adam Cole because Adam Cole is a super nice dude. And, you know, he works really hard and he's getting bogged down by having to deal with fucking Chris Jericho and Paige and all those other girls and shit. It just, the crowd wasn't into it.
Yeah.
They didn't care about any of the false finishes. The only pop of this whole match came when Britt Baker hit the ring with a kendo stick and got her Summit Jericho. Crowd popped for that. Paige, Saraya, whatever, she came out. You know, she got her some of her. The crowd popped for that. And then the finish was like Adam Cole, he's got a chain. So now we're having a chain match. And like the referee, like legit put the chain on Jericho's wrist and shit. Like, I don't know. And so Adam wraps the chain around his knee and then hits his deal on the back of the head of Jericho.
Okay.
And that got a polite response from the crowd. You'd think he would have went for a cover there. But Jericho, he gets off him and starts mounting him and he's just throwing hammer fists into Jericho's face.
Oh, and that was the finish.
And then the referee just calls for the bell.
Yeah, so I saw
an unsanctioned match where a contract was signed to not hold the company liable ended in a referee stoppage.
a referee stoppage. Booker of the year. Again.
Dude, it was just... And Jericho, again, they're out there, they're having a fight.
Yeah, but my whole thing...
What the fuck is this guy calling? He's got his head down. They're on the floor for a minute, and he's got his head down calling. Like, what are you calling?
What... How did this get from... They didn't even have a regular match. And... He do this a similar match with Roderick the week before?
Yeah, they
on
had
on free TV.
They had a Falls Count Anywhere, which was designed just to get Jericho outside of the building because Adam Cole was banned from the building. It's like
It doesn't make any sense to have that style match on a pay-per-view, but the week before with a person that just debuted, like it doesn't make any sense.
Like Tony Khan has watched all of this on television. You know what I mean? He's seen all of this happen on wrestling television, but it clearly never sunk in why.
But I was just gonna say it's very much like almost like dealing with like a Vince Russo where I saw it and it got a great reaction. Let's do that.
Let's
but
do
then
that.
Didn't research far enough back to wonder how we even got
in
there.
between it. Yes.
Yeah. How what got us to this point? It just, oh, this will get a reaction, so let's do that. That's what it sounds like is going on.
Yeah. And the crowd dumped all over the finish.
Ugh.
It wasn't like they booed, and they didn't boo because the referee stopped the bell and they wanted to see more. It was like groaning. It was terrible.
So setting Cole up for failure, really, because clearly him and Britt were the babyface coming into this match, and if your babyface wins, there should be a pop for that win if the heel did his job right. But obviously Jericho is not a good heel anymore.
Well, the heel got his heat back because there was a segment, right after this match, or no, excuse me, that was after the next match, which was, for me, the highlight of the evening, and it was FTR versus TNA.
Right.
And first of all, Mark Briscoe comes out, and he gets the polite applause. After everything that happened with Jay, they brought him on TV. Over 1 million people sat through an entire episode of Dynamite to see Mark Briscoe.
Right.
Right. But now this is how they capitalize on that.
This is
You know what I mean? And the guy should be working with MJF.
Right.
Right? If there's a modern day Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes, it would be MJF and Mark Briscoe.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
But
good versus evil.
Right. But no, he's wearing a referee shirt in a tag match that was a good match, and the whole angle could have been done differently and been good and make sense, but it's just it is what it is. The crowd's hot for FTR. My buddy James pointed out all 4 guys are in red and black trunks.
Wow, really?
Yeah, all 4.
Oh no.
Yeah, they would have been. It looked like the NWO Wolfpack was out there.
Oh no.
Yeah, but this thing
worst.
started, man. The crowd was super hot for FTR, right?
And because they're the only thing over right now.
Well, not just that, bro. We've got headlock takeovers. We got head scissors. We've got arm drags. They're having a fucking wrestling match.
No, they're wrestling each other.
Yeah, and we drop down leapfrog. There's wrestling.
Yeah.
And the crowd, these people, when they get a chance to see wrestling, they like it.
Yeah.
So, that kind of shit is cool. And, Mark Briscoe, as it turns out, is the best referee on the AEW roster.
Oh.
He seems to have a grasp of what the rules are
and
how to enforce them.
Right.
Like, he just, there was no tag. Get the fuck out of the ring.
Nice.
He counted when they were on the floor. Like,
Jesus.
Somebody picked the chair up and he's like, I'll disqualify you. Like, they should take this match and show it to all their referees as an instructional video.
He should have held a seminar after the show.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But then it got a little, Jeff Jarrett got a little TNA here with the finish.
Oh no.
So FTR, they hit a hot tag, a real hot tag, not like one of the double at the same time. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff goes to hit one of FTR, I think it was Cash with the guitar. He ducks it. He hits Mark. Ref Aubrey comes running out.
Oh,
Karen
boy.
Angle meets her in the entranceway. Excuse me, Karen Jarrett.
Yeah.
And breaks a guitar over Aubrey's head. So right now, Karen Jarrett's the biggest babyface in AEW.
I was gonna say.
And then they did a great false finish where they went with Jeff hit Dax with the belt, and then hit the stroke, and he went for a cover, and then another referee slid in 1-2 big kick out,
big kick, nice.
Place fucking blew, and then it was just it was like a slice of heaven in the valley of death. It was just a great little tag match.
Yeah.
And so it was nice to have something that you can it was like a palate cleanser, an intermezzo, if you will, you know what I mean? It was like having a little bit of sherbet right before you went into the next course.
Yeah, but match 3,
right?
Like we've seen a battle royal, kind of, and then non-sanctioned match, and then a wrestling match broke out.
Right.
And then the crowd was responsive, so no one in the back said, "Hey, tone down the Gaga. Let's give them.
Let's give them wrestling tonight." Right.
Yeah. Like they're into this, so let's do more wrestling.
Right.
God.
So after that, in the back, FTR gets to the back just in time to save Ricky Starks from the Bullet Club Gold. Okay. So I don't know if they're heading into a 6-man deal, if Juice and Jay White are going to get another guy. So I don't know what's going on there. But then now there's a Jericho and Saraya segment where Jericho is very, very, very upset that he was hit by a kendo stick with a woman. Was hit with a kendo stick by a woman, not hit. Yeah, right. And Paige wasn't happy either. So they made a challenge, right? So now on our pay-per-view, we're doing backpage promos to set up Wednesday's Dynamite.
Jesus.
I might be having a stroke. Dynamite.
Right. It's a big
one. And then Jericho lit a producer's face on fire because he's a wizard. Yeah. The guy was like, "Oh, Chris," he said something to him, and then he fireballed the guy in the back for no good goddamn reason, and then said, "I'm a wizard." Chris Jericho needs to get the fuck off of television.
Jesus.
Nobody, I don't care what anybody says, there was no bigger Chris Jericho fan than I was. I absolutely loved Chris Jericho. Bro, it is over. He does nothing for no one that he works with.
Is the person he fireballed coming back after him for revenge? Like, was that setting up them? What was the point?
No, it was like when Shawn Michaels kicked Stan in the. Remember that segment?
Yeah, that was Shawn.
I am Stan.
Yeah.
Right, that was Shawn Spears.
Right.
Production assistant, fireball.
Fireball, though.
Right.
You wasted a fireball on a random guy in the back, like.
Right.
Oh gosh.
Dude, every single person he works with ends up worse off than they would have been.
I wonder if does the live crowd see that? I would imagine, right? Like the live crowd sees the backstage stuff, right?
I thought you meant did the live crowd know that Jericho is just destroying people's careers? But no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, they've got monitors and shit. They've got to see.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of reaction that was, because a fire, like, those fans especially shit on anything that's old time, and the fireball thing is
the crowd reaction all night. That was another thing.
Yeah,
they fucking bought almost nothing all night.
It's their own fault, though. This is how they've trained them to be.
This was one of those, like Like, we had this problem at VPW last month. You go to an indie show and the building is kind of full.
Yeah.
But it's like these people, like, once the show starts, no matter what they see, there is like, you get nothing from them. You know, it was like they wandered into this place and bought a ticket for something they didn't know what they were fucking signing up for.
Yeah, yeah.
So these people were like, you know, either indifferent or just on their hands all night long. The entire production side was empty.
Well, the thing is,
Entirely.
yeah, the thing about something like that is, again, once that FTR match started and the crowd came to life, it's probably those old time Las Vegas fans of, you know, when they used to have the at the show at the older like venues that used to host wrestling, like wrestling fans, I would imagine. I mean, I know they're AEW fans, but they probably wanted more wrestling than tricks, you know.
I saw a picture that some fan was watching the NXT pay-per-view
Oh yeah.
on his
Wow.
phone
Yeah, I saw
from
that.
inside of Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Which I wish we were covering NXT because but yeah, man, Jericho just
Yeah, he needs to go.
yeah, it's over, dude. Like, it's
Yeah.
over. He looks like his hair is all ratty because he's
Yeah, it's
old and
real
it's
real bad.
yeah,
Right.
dude. Like, he needs to know when it's time to go.
And he won't change that because of Fozzy, and I think they're
Right.
supposed to be doing like a big fest thing.
Yeah,
So he can't,
Fozfest.
yeah, he can't get rid of the rock star hair now.
Ugh, it's just, man, you got to know when to fold them,
Yep.
and Jericho doesn't. But so after both of those backstage segments, the stage is now set for Wardlow and Christian Cage's ladder match.
Oh, that's a ladder match?
Oh boy, was it a ladder match.
Oh no. Christian's like 50.
Yes. And he was wrestling in a turtleneck with the sleeves cut off.
Shut up.
Dude, the crowd was chanting turtleneck, turtleneck, turtleneck.
The turtleneck was over.
Yeah.
He was wrestling in a turtleneck.
The turtleneck so far, besides FTR, is the most over thing in the show.
I just need him to keep coming out in a turtleneck and pissing people off. I don't really want to see him wrestle anymore.
So he makes his entrance, and then he tells the giant dinosaur, "Don't worry, you stay in the back. I got this."
Thank God.
Right. You wrestled him, right? Once. I remember the
Oh,
first time I saw a photo of Luchasaurus, it was a thing that
yeah.
you shared. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, man, that guy kind of looks frightening looking. And then the bell
Yeah.
rang.
Yes. Oh, it was bad. I remember one time, he was putting a match together with Morrison, right? With John Morrison
Where was
and
this?
Lucha Underground.
Wait, he was in Lucha Underground?
Yes. Yeah, Luchasaurus. He was part of the reptile group with
Right. Okay.
he was the big one. Yeah. I guess he was in NXT prior to coming to us. But I guess he was like on Big Brother or something. He's like a reality TV star character.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, he's huge, jacked and everything. So he's Morrison's boy, whatever. So I'm already like, great, another one. So they're putting this match together. I think it was the 4th season, and they're walking through it. Now, you don't have to walk through every single second of your match. Okay. Right. The producers want the high notes. Okay. Where the cameras need to be, which side are you hitting that? And then get out of the ring. So we do, all right, match 4, seg 4 is up in the ring area, match 3 of seg 4, and then you hop in. Okay, here's what we're doing. Boom, boom, boom. Bam. This is happening. Boom. And then, okay, it takes maybe 3 minutes realistically to get a 6-minute TV match produced, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sitting, as usual, bothering Chavo, and he's the agent for the match. So he's got his notepad down and he's kind of watching, and I'm talking to him, whatever. And he goes, "Oh, I got to watch this match." His nice way of saying, "Stop bothering me."
Right.
So I'm like, all right. So we go up to the ring and they're going over their match, but they're going from the time the bell rings till the ending of the match. And they are slapping their thighs on every goddamn thing possible. Right. So I don't know if there's, I don't know if that, just like that, like for everything. It was like, and they're talking, right? Then you bip me, then I bip you, and then I'll hit the ropes. And then, so this is getting out of control, right? And I look over at Chavo kind of like, not in a big, like, what the fuck are you going to say? Like, I want to, right? Because that's what I want to do, right? So I just kind of like, do the whole, like, I'm stretching till, what's Chavo looking at? And he's just doing this the whole time, right? So finally they get through the entire goddamn thing, and I walk back like towards Chavo, and he's like, they are really gonna do all of that. And like it was like a 6-7 minute match, Sure enough, that night I remember was the first time I saw Chavo lose his shit, Guerrero style, on both of them. Like as soon as they came to the back, he was like, "What the fuck?" Blah blah blah, and he's just going off. Right? He goes, "That was awful. That was terrible." So I'm in the back. I was watching it, and I was like, "Wow, this is really bad." Like very AEW, three-way dance, no psychology. But it was a one-on-one, with a guy who should know better in there,
Right.
It was
That's
horrible.
the big thing.
Yeah, like really, it's just but yeah, he's a nice guy. I mean, most dumb people are, but he's like Cage, where you're just like, shucks, you're just a big dumb, stupid. Go over there. He's, and I don't even know. I'm positive he wasn't a big fan, like a diehard fan, like the rest of us, where we just want to get better at it. I think he's like, oh, I could do these cool things. I got to make sure I always do my cool things. So he's just
And
one of
then
those guys.
He hit the lotto when he found Luke Perry's son to be his meal ticket.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like we used them, but he was Christopher DeJoseph, the writer. He knew him from the Big Brother. Like Chris was a head writer at the Big Brother show. He might still
Mark
be.
Burnett was the producer of Big Brother.
Yeah. So they all knew each other.
Or
So
Survivor,
I'm sure
I think, even also, which was
and Contender and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so like
there were some major bigwigs behind Lucha Underground that I'm surprised that it didn't last.
Yeah, but they didn't want to keep doing that. But anyways, it was they all knew each other. So when he came in, I thought, oh well, and I found out he was in NXT, and I was like, oh wow, cool. Maybe this guy will be good. Like I don't know who the fuck he is. I never watched his shit. And then I watched him, and I was like, is he doing all the stupid shit because he thinks that because he's a dinosaur he's supposed to do that, or does he have to not?
Dinosaurs were famous for their moonsaults and Hurricane Ranas.
Yeah, I didn't understand. Not that he had to wrestle like a dinosaur, but I would rather see him try to do that than whatever the fuck he was attempting nightly there. But yeah, he was not any good anywhere.
So
yeah,
luckily, he fucked off.
All right.
And then Christian and Wardlow were having like the typical ladder match, doing typical ladder match spots of, a guy who's never really had one before and another guy who's trying to not get hurt in one.
Yep.
And then we made like a left turn.
God.
So the dinosaur comes back out. Okay. And he's like, stalking on Wardlow or whatever.
Okay.
And then Arn comes out. Bro, and Arn.
Is he packing?
I would have preferred if he was. I love Arn. right? But Arn's another one that doesn't need to be on television.
Yeah, no.
So he's setting up behind the dinosaur, and I'm going, all right, we're going to get a spine buster or the DDT here.
Right.
And the dinosaur turns around and goozles him. And then Arn starts eating his thumb.
Vice.
Right? And then the thumb gets color, but it's fake blood from Arn's mouth. So Arn's covered in it. Dude, and it's just right. Right. They made it like Arn bit his thumb off. And then somehow the dinosaur ends up on two tables outside of the ring. Wardlow goes to the top of like a 14-foot ladder and swantons him right in the entranceway.
The dinosaur.
And, yeah, except for like he was on one of the tables and Wardlow lands on the second table.
Right.
The thing was just bad. You know, I don't even want to say it was bad. It was a decent ladder match. Right? But as soon as the dinosaur came out and Arn came out, they lost the plot. Yeah. And then, you know, they did the big swanton, and then him and Christian did a finish, and he pulled his belt down and remains the TNT champion. There's just nothing has had like a redeeming quality about it yet. Like even the FTR match was good, but like I didn't think that, you know, FTR was going to lose their tag titles.
Right.
With a gimmick referee to Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. You know what I mean? Like nothing has been believable yet. And then the next thing on this show is they switched out Tony Schiavone with Jim Ross. And I'm like, all right. So Jim Ross worked the first half of the show. Tony Schiavone's working the second half, which I'm like, that's preposterous. Right. But clearly, Jim Ross just doesn't want to get any of that shit on him later.
Jim Ross is on his way to the hotel now.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to go have a steak. I'm not going to watch this assholes in the arena bullshit.
Yeah, no, he's definitely
let alone
not
call it. You know, I think JR is done leveraging his credibility against the AEW product. So good for him.
Kudos for Tony for still being awake this late at night.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm willing to bet he caught a nap through the first half.
Had to have. Yeah.
And then they just woke him up in the makeup chair, like, go ahead, Tony, get out there.
Mm-hmm.
So the next match was Tony Storm versus Jamie Hayter. But again, you've seen how I felt about everything before this.
Mm.
I needed to go smoke a bowl.
Mm-hmm.
There was not 10 minutes I was giving up for Tony Storm versus Jamie Hayter.
Right.
So I did not watch this. Apparently, they jumped Jamie Hayter in the back and you didn't see it on TV. And now Tony Storm is the new AEW Women's World Champion.
Yeah, so I saw that she had won. I guess she's hurt, Hayter, I guess.
Yeah, you know what? I like Jamie Hayter, but they've got her playing second fiddle to Britt Baker all the time. This angle is bullshit with Saraya and these other chicks trying to be like female NWO. It's not good.
Yeah.
Jericho's involved. I don't want to get any of this on me just watching it.
Yeah.
So that was that. Thanks for coming, Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm. And then the next match was the House of Black versus the Acclaimed for the Trios title.
With the dim lights, right?
With the dim lights, the DQs are enforced. That's one of their rules. They have their own rules for their Trios matches.
Yeah, but
one of them is like, there will be disqualifications.
Is there slight stab at the bad officiating.
Yeah.
You
So
will
you get
enforce this, damn it.
20 count on the floor, DQs are enforced, and the opponents get to pick a stipulation.
The
And that's
opponent.
then they call that like that's the house rules.
Oh, okay.
The Acclaimed neglected to pick a stipulation.
Okay.
Right? Max Caster, you need to go on Twitter and seek out his rap from last night. Because he was like, hey, Malachi Black is wearing blackface. Brody King looks like a drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race. And then he said something to the effect of he said Murphy's getting cucked by a kid named Dominic.
Oh, is that what that? I saw the people commenting on something, and I think even Rhea hit a line.
Yeah. She
To
said we're
Dominic.
over in two companies.
That's what she wrote. Yeah.
At some point during this match, the crowd chants, "Who's your mommy?" at Buddy Murphy.
Nice.
So,
poor Buddy.
Billy Gunn is the biggest guy on this roster.
Of course he is. Still.
And it's not there. There's no debate or
no.
He
giant
looks
human
like
being.
He will, yeah, slaughter everybody there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They did a quick shine in this match. And then Bowens and Caster, they did a double shoot. It was really cool. They double shot from the center, and then Bowens like leaped for a drop down and actually tripped the guy. And then Caster caught something, and then Bowens caught something. It was a nice little spot. But after that, man, they started the heat, and the heat was slow, and it was boring. And the arena is black, and the people are silent.
Oh boy.
And Excalibur is fucking unbearable. Unbearable, dude. The only thing worse than like because I don't want to say it was boring heat. Yeah. You know, Malachi Black is fucking boring when he's putting heat on.
Yeah.
And just Excalibur, like, because he's now Malachi is grabbing submissions. And now I got to listen to Excalibur explain a submission to me for 4.5 minutes until Malachi switches into the next.
Yeah.
And it was just terrible. Brody King does nothing for me.
Right.
Nothing. And there are times in the past where I have liked him, but he's just like, I don't know if it's the presentation in this group.
Yeah. He's a little bit greener too. I was just gonna say the baby faces have a lot to do with that boring heat too. You can't really blame it on the heels. You know, they're only doing, you can only do so much with a boring baby face if they're not moving and fighting back and being animated, you know, and those guys are like too green to understand to liven up a little bit.
Yeah, well, they put the heat.
The whole gimmick on that house gimmick is that they're all like supposed to be fighters, right? Because in his mouth, like so you would think that the heat would be more strikes and guys trying to fight back, and I don't know, like I don't imagine the heat being like, you know, something that you would just grab a hold and wait, because they don't understand how to work that hold, the baby faces, to make it appealing to the fans. So it's probably just a blind leading the blind in there for way too long.
Right, because they were putting the heat on Bowens.
Yeah.
And it was long heat. And at this point, I'm looking on the apron, and Billy Gunn knows this is bad.
Right. Okay.
You know, you can see it in his face.
Yeah.
He knows that
we need to do something. Bad. Yeah.
And finally, they made the hot tag to Billy. Billy comes in. He's trying to get the crowd back.
Yeah.
He bumping, hits a famouser, hits another famouser, turns around, takes that kick from fucking Aleister Black.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, they went home. So there was like a 5-minute shine, a 12-minute heat, a 43-second comeback, and then they went home.
And a flat finish.
Yep. And at this point, I wrote down, Jesus Christ, here comes Taya versus Jade.
Oh, no. That happened again?
Yeah.
That was happening again?
So, but they were smart.
Because we didn't get enough. We didn't get enough that first time.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You know what? They got back after that first match and they hit the locker room and Tony was like, we got to run that shit back.
Yeah, right. Everybody was applauding, popcorn and babies in the air.
Yeah, in the air.
Yeah.
It was a sellout at the monitors.
I'm sure there was.
Yeah. So they were smart this time. They front loaded this with sizzle.
Okay.
So Taya, her entrance, she came out with a couple of weird goth strippers that were doing weird goth stripper things on the stage. So we got sizzle. And then Jade got wrapped to the ring by some rapper, and she had some dancers, and Jade knew the choreographed dance. So now we've got entertainment here.
Okay.
And then immediately they both
has to be good.
Yeah, right. They both started looking for the finish right away.
Okay.
Counter, whatever. And then Taya hit a dive from the top rope to the floor on Mark Sterling. And then Jade cut her off there with like a pump kick on the floor. And then Taya is taken back over. They're going back and forth now.
Right.
I think they realized the era of their first match.
Yeah.
So they're trying to have a match with like momentum changes. And then Taya's on the apron setting up like she's going to springboard or whatever. And Jade's stooge, one of the girls on the floor, is like 40 seconds late to grab her leg. So Taya's standing there forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it occurred to me, I think Jade was calling this match.
Dear God.
And Jade can do the moves.
Yeah.
You know, like there's nothing wrong with what she executes.
Right.
Yes. And then she did like a lazy bow and arrow, and the people they're waiting for the people to try and get behind Taya.
Yeah.
But it just looks like she's just hanging out, like she's not selling. Jade's face and body isn't doing it. It was just terrible. And I wrote at this point, I don't like this, and this is bad because of Taya Valkyrie.
Right.
Taya Valkyrie is abysmal.
Right. She is not good.
She is not good. I expected more. She's terrible. And then they went for Jade springboards, and Taya goes for a code breaker, right? But Jade's springboard.
Oh, code breaker. Okay.
Jade's springboard, she didn't like come up. She came in like a fucking bullet.
Oh no.
And Taya, like the timing was just a little off.
Yeah.
Where it basically looked like that Taya just jumped up in the air and kneed her in the ribs as hard as she it took the air out of her.
Oh no.
And it looked hurty. And but then Taya hits her with the finish, and Jade kicked out, and the crowd bought it. So they bid on a falsie there. So they almost had him. And then Jade hits her with it a minute later. 1, 2, 3. This is over. And it was bad.
Okay. So this match, the rematch, didn't have a stipulation that you couldn't use. So we went from special stipulation title match to just a regular wrestling match.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And this one was better bad than the first one.
Yeah, no, just wanted to make that clear. that it didn't. Okay, just Booker of the Year.
Luckily, though, there will not be a third match because after the match, Mark Sterling got on the microphone, said, "We've beat anybody, open challenge."
Oh, okay. I saw this. Yeah.
Right. And then out came Chris Statlander.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris looks great. And I wrote to myself, Chris is back. Thank God. So she went out there.
Yeah.
She accepted the challenge. She hit her with the fucking dude buster. You know what that is?
No.
It's a tombstone, but they grip under the legs.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Jade does not tuck her head.
Oh no.
Oh no. So she fucking bounces. Chris covers her. Confetti's falling.
Yeah.
Jade's out. Out. Bro. And the crowd went fucking insane.
Good.
So they got up for Kristen.
Yeah.
Which was fantastic because she's honestly probably the only person on this card tonight that deserved to have the crowd fucking get up for them. Yeah. And came out and did what needed to be done effectively on this show. And that part was great. And then after that, we got a package for the Pillars 4-way. And I said to myself, there's no way they're putting assholes in the arena on last. Right? So you're telling me that they're fucking MJF and they're going to put his world heavyweight title on before we have to watch fucking Moxley bleed all over the building. So, like, why are they trying to fuck Max?
I told you that either MJF just is trying to just get through this contract so he can move on, or because it feels like he doesn't care as much. Like he cared so much when him and Wardlow about whatever contract dispute he was having.
Right.
He cared so much about that he was willing to go home. But now he's the heavyweight champion of the world, and they're treating him like it's another mid-card belt, putting him in middle or
second
to last, whatever it is. It's not the main event. It's not the centerpiece that everyone's focused on, because if it were Roman Reigns or somebody, they would not be second to last with a title defense, and it's just, again, this goes back to, like I said before, does he even know how to speak up for himself and the reasons why he should be speaking up for himself at this point in his career? That was the whole point of him not getting his way, and then he left.
Taking his ball and going home.
Yeah. If he has the ball, now he has the ball, and there's still kind of like that first run with Bryan as the world heavyweight champion and Punk, where they were like not the world champion, but they had a world championship.
And they were the world champion in name only.
That's what they're doing with MJF. They're treating him like a second-rate top mid-card title guy instead of what he's supposed to be. And this goes right back to egos, and he's too green to say, hey, like, the belt should be last, like, and speak up about it. But I don't know if it's his call or not, or how okay is he with all this?
Well, I think regardless, it gives him food for a promo to dump on people later.
Yeah, but it doesn't help him now. And you're supposed to be building him now. Like, we're all looking at this from the experts. Look at this like, well, MJF, he's still young. Yes, but if you're not treating him the way he's supposed to be, then he's always going to be that mid-card looking guy. Because even if he does win the belt in WWE, they could still look at him like, well, he's still young, and he'll just take it. Like,
Well, I think it worked out for him here because this turned out to be a rotten fucking show,
Oh yeah, but
and at least it's
like
not going to be his fault.
okay, but when Ric Flair would go town to town and he's wrestling local ham sandwich number 7 that's over in that town, he made that show and made that guy look like he belonged in the
Yeah,
ring with the heavyweight champion of the world. That's your fucking job. Like as the draw and the attraction, it should be wrestle up and everyone else does so, not wrestle down. Hey, let's all play grab ass together because my friends are here, and
right.
then we're match 7 instead of 8 anyway. So who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares is the entire world is watching your ass. That's who cares.
Right.
You know? And your value drops. Simple as that.
So they do a package, right? And then they start making their entrances. Jungle Boy comes out. And then Sammy comes out with Ty and Mello, and they've got cue cards, and they announce that they're pregnant.
Yeah.
Great.
So
What is Sammy?
is he Mexican?
No. Well, I mean, that could explain. But is he a heel? Is he a
Oh,
baby face? Is he a Mexican?
well, that does explain it because the Mexicans all do the moves.
Yeah, but
So
he changes on a week to week basis, and then you can't tell.
he changes for what style of match he's in, so he can get the most reaction and be able to do the most things in that match.
Okay,
So
so he's a ball hog.
yeah, whatever he
Basically.
needs to be to get a reaction, because no one cheers bigger or is more happy when he does a flippy thing than him, because when he does it, he just kind of waits around like, wow, did y'all see that? And then just goes into the next thing. So
Right.
he wrestles for him.
So they're all in the ring. They do they immediately, the three of them get on Max and they dump Max, and then they start doing three-way trampoline spots.
Okay, of course.
Which I immediately wrote, all right, Max is trying to not get any of this on him. He's going to be smart. He's going to come back in for shit that makes sense, and then he's going to let them do all the contrived bullshit.
He shouldn't even be in this match, but yeah, I know.
Right.
The
So,
winner of a three-way between them should have wrestled him. He should have just been maybe sitting there in a big throne or something watching the match on this pay-per-view, because if you're not last, what's the point in even having him there then?
right.
You could have just had him appear.
They started doing back-to-back shotgun spots, but they were good.
Okay.
The people were into it. And then they did one where Sting, Darby hits a Scorpion Death Drop.
Yeah.
Sammy hits a Code Breaker.
Yeah.
Jungle Boy hits a Kill Switch.
Oh yeah,
The Unprettier. And then MJF hits a Crossroads.
Right. Everyone's idol or best friends.
Mentor or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
So they start doing that. Then MJF goes out to the floor. He grabs a microphone and he comes back in and he's like, Sammy, he's like, you're about to have a kid. Kids are expensive. You're an idiot. Just take the money. Lay down. So Sammy's like, all right, I'll lay down. Max goes to cover him. Sammy rolls him up. He kicks out. Crowd bought it. And now we're in. And so far, it's not bad so far. It's decent. It's enjoyable. It's got a good little pace to it. And then all of a sudden, we're in Reseda because they're in a 4-way submission spot in the middle of the ring.
Oh, man, see?
Right. And then from there, everybody hits a destroyer. Okay. And the crowd is still, the crowd's there with them. This is one thing that the crowd came to see.
All right.
And so they're doing stupid shit. I don't even mind because the crowd, when the crowd's with it, you gotta.
That's my exact point to, like I was saying, that they're playing up to their audience.
Yep.
And at the end of the night, you're like, yeah, that was good because they said it was. Like, so yeah. Okay.
And Darby Allin is a human bullet.
Yeah, that tope is cool.
Dude, that tope is cool, and he hits the
Goes.
ropes like Shawn Michaels was hitting the ropes in
Yeah.
'96.
Yeah.
You know, he
Like he meant
attacks the
it.
fucking ropes,
Yeah.
and he comes off hard and fast. And then they do, which I was surprised that Max even took part in this spot.
Mm.
Sammy gives Darby a Spanish fly from the top rope onto Max and Jungle Boy on the floor.
Oh, okay. I did see that for a second.
And yeah, and everybody ate a knee in the head.
Right.
And
Exactly.
then they crawled back in and they did it was hokey, a 4-way on their knees trade spot.
Mm.
But it was like past the duchy to the left hand side. Like everybody hit the guy on the right of them.
Yeah.
Um, and then finally MJF gets up and he sets up like he's gonna strike it, but everybody gets fucking Rowdy Piper eye pokes. So that was pretty clever. And then from there, Max got shit canned. And then they went into like Darby and Jungle Boy and Sammy went into like a 3-way pin drill.
Mm.
Which the crowd was digging it. I kind of dug it a little bit. Um, Lots of false finishes. MJF, he takes over and he hits Darby with the ring, gives him the fucking headlock tape over, covers him 1, 2, 3, and that was the end of it. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't terrible. And it was one of the 2 or 3 spots in the night that the crowd actually cared about what they were witnessing. And I was really mad it wasn't on last.
Well, they definitely promoted it well. It seemed like it was a very important part of Dynamite's leading up to the pay-per-view, so that's good. Should have
Yeah.
just with that much time though, really should have been last, but Moxley seems to think that they're the only thing that matters in the promotion, so there's that.
I would like to go on record right now. If I never see John fucking Moxley again, it will be too soon. Um, I fucking hate John Moxley. I wrote it like 4 times in my notes. Like I'd write something, I'd write like 8 more things, and I'd be like, I fucking hate John Moxley. I'd write like 7 more things, and be like, I fucking hate John Moxley. Like, yeah, he was just terrible. But anyway, so the match starts now. We're up to assholes in the arena.
Mm.
And first of all, they have a live band singing Wild Thing. And the
Yeah.
singer, right, there's a live band out there singing the heels music
Mm.
for the first 10 minutes of the match. They played it
Right.
over like 3 times. And the singer is in blackface.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So the first note I wrote after the lead singer is in blackface is this is why JR works the first half of the show.
He had the format and was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave now.
Yeah. And then Claudio got juice on a referee before Moxley even got juice.
Yeah, I thought I saw Rick was bleeding.
And which
Then he chucked his ass to the side pretty hard too.
yeah. And then I wrote they're still playing Wild Thing and it's terrible. It was the worst rendition of Wild Thing I had ever heard in my life. Okay. And then the only thing I could think to myself was Danielson and Claudio deserve so much better than this, and Wheeler Yuta does not belong.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't actively relay what was happening in this match because it was just,
right. Everywhere.
like, yeah, there is just so much going on, and then Moxley, he got his color when the camera wasn't even on him.
Oh, good boy.
So yeah, but I mean, like, you don't even know what happened. Like, all of a sudden, he was just
Oh, there wasn't
yeah,
a thing, and then the
yeah. No, it
course.
was just like they cut back to Moxley, and he's
Like,
red faced. Yeah.
hey,
Oh, here I am. I'm bleeding again.
yeah,
Um, the the Bucks super kicked the lead singer of the band,
yeah.
and I
What?
panicked. Thank God.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know
But the
for
drummer
what.
continued his solo.
Yeah, I saw the one guy with the guitar. He goes like, "Am I supposed to act like
Yeah.
sad?" Yeah, it was one of those kind of
And the
deals. Like
drummer was like, "Fuck it, bro. This is the biggest
he's
crowd
just
we'll
like,
ever be in front
"I'm
of."
getting paid regardless."
Yeah. Uh, then Matt Jackson Northern Light suplexed Wheeler Yuta all the way down the ramp, over and over and over and over the whole width of the ramp. And then I wrote they should have used the production side of the arena. There was nobody there to get in the way. Don Callis looks like a thumb.
Yeah, he does.
Moxley has a fork. I hate him.
A fork now.
Yeah, right.
Hmm.
He's stabbing Omega in the head with a fork, and then
Really?
it turns out he planted a bunch of barbed wire and broken glass on the back of one of the Double or Nothing like production signs,
Uh-huh.
and they went for a suplex, like oh no. Kenny had him in a sleeper,
Hmm.
and he was like setting up, and it looked like he was gonna dump Moxley on his back into the glass and shit. And then Excalibur is like, "Oh, he's gonna drop him on his back in the glass," and then he didn't do it. And then they did it like 2 minutes later, so he blew the spot.
Well,
You know what I mean?
yes.
So, and
Way to
then
go.
Claudio had one of the Bucks, and he was doing the big swing on him in like the concourse where all the people were,
Really?
and then just let him go on the concrete.
Oh God.
into Also like into a trash can. So he
Yeah,
smashes against the trash
and
can and then eats shit on the floor.
right as that ended, CM Punk Venmoed Claudio some
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, $65.
Yeah, there you go.
And he's sending him some of Mindy's muffins.
Yeah,
Um, and then I wrote Brian and Claudio are trying really hard not to get any of this on them.
really. What a shame.
They're not they're out there doing punch kick
Yeah,
and their stuff
right.
in this spot where everybody else is out there with
And what? Yeah,
screwdrivers.
while the circus is happening, right
Yeah,
in the middle of the ring. Oh,
and then Claudio gave one of the Jacksons a pile driver into the back of a truck that's just like mine. And
uh-huh.
he's like, "Oh man, my truck looks good on TV. It's a nice looking truck." And then all of a sudden, there was a leaf blower in the middle of the ring.
A leaf blower.
Yeah, like the landscaper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's that gonna do?
nothing. It does nothing. It was plastic, and they were whacking each other in the head with it like it was goddamn.
Oh, it
It
was
was
just there to be
ridiculous.
there.
And then I wrote, "This is too long." The first pin attempt, I don't know what time it started, but the first pin attempt
Yeah.
in this disaster came at 11:37 p.m. Eastern time.
Ugh.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, they had Nick Jackson in a Boston Crab and a crossface for about 3 minutes
Oh no.
while they were waiting for Matt to come out to make the save. And Matt comes out and makes the save with an exploding super kick.
I saw a clip of it. Yeah.
Um,
But he only had one
Only
because,
had
and then
one.
I think yeah, and then he hit useless right after, like with 2, and none of those exploded.
None of those exploded.
Not that Useless bumped on any of them. He just kind of stood there and did the
It's okay
backstroke.
because immediately following that, Yuta kicked out of a buckshot lariat.
Yeah.
So, fuck you, Adam Page. I mean, well, yeah, fuck you, Adam Page, but also fuck you, Adam Page. And then I noted that I said, at this point, this match has completely jumped the shark. And right when I wrote that, Moxley takes out a bag of thumbtacks. It's not even worth.
Yeah. Then he puts what's his name's foot in it, right?
Yeah. He puts what's his name's foot in it. Then they put some in his mouth, and Claudio gave him a European.
Oh, okay. Is that what they did? I saw them loading his mouth up, and I just kept scrolling.
And then Nick took a cutter in him, and then Matt took an implant DDT in them, and then kicks out. So apparently the Bucks are fucking road warriors, and it never ended. It should have been over at least 3 times, and then Yuta pins Omega.
What?
Yes.
Oh, like.
And they took that kid. They turned that kid Takeshita heel.
Yeah, I saw that stupidness. So are you trying to tell me that we're building to an Omega Yuta feud? Or
I think this is probably one of those things where, like, Brian and Claudio, like, didn't want to be in the clips of this going forward. You know what I mean? So
somebody's got plans for a return.
Yeah. Hey, Wheeler,
this is going to look bad at the Hall of Fame if we have to deal with this editing. Oh, man. I don't know. So, yes, the whole thing about this pay-per-view is, what does it do going forward? A, for Forbidden Door, and then B, for Wembley. Like, it didn't do anything for MJF. It lines no challenger up for MJF.
It does nothing for anybody.
It doesn't do anything for the international title, which they're going international soon. With the biggest event this company will hold. And you would think that would be something. On the next 2 shows are going to be quote unquote international, because I think Forbidden Door is in Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Which they might as well just call that Border Wars.
And then you go to the stadium, for the first time. Wrestling's been there since how many years? And you would think that a couple of those belts would have been protected. Your world heavyweight title and at least the international title. Like,
the only person who comes out of this show with a clear path of what they're doing going forward is Omega, right? Because now we know we're going to at least get something between Omega and Takeshita, okay? But then you go back through the rest of this card.
Okay, but who wants to see that?
Right. But now I'm saying he's the only one that you know what you have for.
Yeah, I know that.
You don't know what you have for Max for next. You don't know what you have for FTR. You don't know what you have for the Trios title. You don't know what you have for Wardlow. You don't know. Jericho was still tied up with Adam Cole. What are they doing?
They're not doing anything right. That's the whole point, because then their next pay-per-view is, I think we kept forgetting to bring it up, it's between Wembley, and now is Forbidden Door, and that's become a throwaway pay-per-view, because now you're talking about these are all like dream matches. They're really not going to do any business for AEW, and they need it. And if anything, this helps maybe Strong out a little bit, on the New Japan side, but that doesn't do anything for them going into Wembley right after a Forbidden Door either.
Tony Khan needs to take his notebook and hand it to Jeff Jarrett and say, you do this now.
Right. Something. They need to get, like, because they have so many shows now, they seriously need to get like small teams of maybe 3 and take over each show.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is just way too much. Like, he's this is proof right here that all the coke in Colombia can't keep Tony up long enough to write down every show he's got going on.
Yeah.
Seriously, think about it. He's got 2 hours of Dynamite. He's already started Collision, so that's 4. You got Rampage, and then you got an hour of Ring of Honor. You're still trying to book, even if Ring of Honor kind of takes care of itself. Just put good wrestlers out and good wrestling matches. I get it. But the whole thing is you're not going to increase any subscribers without any stories and anything exciting happening there. So you're wasting a lot of money to just have it to say, hey, I have it, and not do anything with it. And the guys on Ring of Honor are still not learning anything either. That was one of the reasons why when I left Ring of Honor, I felt like, well, if I'm not going to be in these dream matches, what's the point in sticking around here? Because I'm not learning how to build angles and develop a character, because it wasn't that type of show.
Yeah.
So you can have a guy like fucking Dutch Mantel, hey, show up once a month and write out stories for the Ring of Honor guys. Like, why wouldn't you want to do that?
Right.
Just have him teach, even if he's only doing, you have a 1 hour show, you do 2 angles a show, and build every 4 weeks, you have a bigger event. I mean, it's not that hard. Like, he's just got to get rid of some of this stuff that's on his plate. It's ridiculous.
But, and going back to what you were just saying, on a pay-per-view week.
Yeah.
Okay. Their pay-per-views are 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours.
That's crazy.
Right. So you got your 4 hours of pay-per-view, and then your other 5 hours of wrestling. Right. So you've got 9 hours of wrestling that first of all, you need to write
weekly.
It needs to be coherent.
Yes. Right.
And that people need to be able to stomach.
Right.
I just thought about it the other day. I said, wait a minute. He expects us to watch 10 hours 1 week for Wembley, and then 10 hours the immediately following the next week for All In.
Yep.
Fuck these people.
Yeah. Well,
this
was it.
Podfluxxx.
Yes, exactly. Just go with it.
I'll catch you in a couple days when we get to do this again.
Yes. Right? All right.
Sorry everybody had to watch.
Get better. Get better.
Yeah, luckily Ricky got to choose nothing, and we all got doubled. So take it easy, motherfluxers.